Welcome to this short video which will introduce you to the academic conventions of writing powerful and enticing introductions. While sources will vary slightly, there appears to be consensus that there is 4 stages to writing an introduction, and these include stating the importance of the subject, the aim, your thesis, and an outline of your work. So we're going to look at these in individual detail as we go through the video. So considering the importance of the topic, really here you're going to explain why the topic is important, why it's of interest. So you may provide some background to the topic. For example, you may consider its historical background. You may consider fundamental influences to the topic. For example, there may be a political stance influencing the topic, for example. There may be fundamental issues relating to the topic that are pertinent to understand. All of these will depend on the topic that you're discussing and the argument that you are making, and therefore will be very individual. Some students like to start their introduction and explaining the importance of their topic by using a powerful quote that sums the importance or relevance of your assignment and the argument that you're wishing to address. So, for example, you might provide a quote from a child. You may provide a quote from various people that relate to the topic in hand. You may provide a powerful statistic which encapsulates the impact of your argument. You may write something from a social justice point of view. Using a quote works really effectively, but only if it's relevant. So sometimes students will pop it right at the top in quote marks, fully referenced with a page number. But only do this if it is relevant, and make sure that when you come back to your conclusion, that you refer back to that reference to show some alignment throughout the assignment. Then you're going to start looking at the aims of the assignment. So this part here is really telling us what the purpose of the assignment is, what you are looking to achieve. Now, the best place to find this, if you're really not quite sure, is to look at your assignment guidance in your module guide. You may have been given a question, for example, that you need to address, and you may refer to the learning outcomes. Now, some students only refer to their learning outcomes in the introduction, but the introduction really should be a lot more than just referring to the learning outcomes. You might set the context or the parameters for your aim. So, for example, if you're looking at management and leadership, in what context are you looking at management and leadership? Are you looking at it from an educational perspective? Are you looking at it from a business perspective? For example, manufacturing. Set those parameters to start narrowing down what your assignment will be looking at, what it will be reviewing. Now, you may need to include some defining terms here if they're relevant. So, for example, if you're looking at management and leadership, you may define what those terms relate to. Again, this is just setting the scene for your reader. Now, your thesis relates to your overall argument or claim that you're trying to make in your assignment. Not every assignment will have a thesis, but this is certainly something for you to start developing. It may include the reasoning of your position in your argument. So, for example, if you're taking a specific perspective, you may include that, which will give the reader a little bit more information. Now, it's really difficult to write a thesis at the beginning of your assignment if you haven't done all your reading. The thesis, your overall argument, is based on substantiation of your claims and the reading that you've undertaken. Finally, you should provide an outline or a synopsis or an overview of how your writing is organised. It's like a journey that you will be taking your reader upon. Now, again, this is an area which is really difficult to write at the beginning of an assignment, as you won't necessarily know how your writing will be organised until right at the end. In effect, this is your essay plan. And providing this last sets a scene for the first part of the main body of your assignment. Now, here's some useful points about writing an introduction. Every assignment should have one, even a presentation. Introduction should be about 5% of your word count and certainly no more than 10%. Be flexible. You've been given some ideas on this video, but introductions aren't formulaic and they will change depending on the topic, the assignment requirements, the level that you're working at, and of course the advice that you're given and the word count. Do write your introductions in the manner that is appropriate for the audience or the assignment brief. So if you've been asked to write a reflective assignment, then your introduction is more than likely going to be in the first person. Whereas if you're writing a formal essay, it is unlikely that you will be writing your introduction in the first person and will depersonalise it to the third person. I'm hoping you've gathered so far that introductions really are best written at the end of writing your assignment. But I also know that some students like to at least start with an introduction, but please do remember to come back to it at the end to make sure that it covers the flow of your assignment. You can use references, start substantiating your points and your claims, and certainly your thesis, right from the outset in your introduction. Once you've written your introduction, perhaps share these in your group tutorials as an activity or with your tutor in your tutorials. Why not sit down together and review your introductions as a process of peer review to help build each other's introductions? Now, in an academic assignment, we're expecting you to use academic language. I highly recommend that you click on the link here or look at the Manchester Academic Phrase Bank for useful phrases to include in your introduction. The Manchester Academic Phrase Bank is used across universities in the UK and worldwide and has brilliant starting sentences for you to use and develop your vocabulary. And as the image says here, words have power, and you can access those words from the Manchester Academic Phrase Bank to help you. Now, I'm going to provide some links to some examples of introductions at the bottom of this video clip. You'll also access these in the lecture notes as well, but this will really help you put together some practical examples of writing an introduction in line with the best practice that I've shared here with you. And finally, I just want you to remember, believe in yourself when you're writing your introductions. Remember, the introduction is about enticing the reader in and wanting them to engage and enjoy the argument that you're presenting. I wish you all the best with writing your introduction. Good luck, and I look forward to hearing about your successes.